Hello, I'm Luke Janke, and I'm presenting my project on MH370 and aviation mystery. What we know: MH370 was a Boeing 777 Malaysia Airlines. It left at 12:41 a.m. on March 8, 2014. The plane was going to Beijing, China from Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. Um, the plane lost contact with air traffic control in the South China Sea. Information from the satellite data. A satellite communication team called Inmarsat had equipment on board MH370. That equipment was communicating with its main satellite that was positioned over the Indian Ocean. Search and rescue. The search and rescue consisted of 40 ships and 34 aircraft for the search in the Andaman and South China Sea. Malaysia's military was able to find out the plane went back over Malaysia and into the Indian Ocean. So this led for Inmarsat to dig into more information, and they were able to find out that the plane had to go two places: north to Kazakhstan or south to the southern Indian Ocean. Someone was sadly able to find out that the plane did go south. Search and recovery. People found a lot of plane parts on Reunion Island. The debris they found was a flaperon, but the flaperon was missing its ID plate. This plate tells what plane it was a part of. The only time it's taken apart is when the plane is dismantled, meaning taken apart. Conspiracy number one: did the pilot do it? Of the two pilots, the captain was the most experienced and most likely to be able to do it. Authorities discovered that Captain Zohari had the same flight path on his flight simulator at home that MH370 would have taken if the plane flew towards the southern corridor. This is how the pilot might have done it. The plane is cruising through the air, but after 1 o'clock, MH370 would be out of Malaysian airspace. They get out and enter an area called the gray zone where no airspace is watching them. The captain might ask the co-pilot to get him something from the back. Once the co-pilot leaves, he locks the door, takes a hard left turn, and starts heading towards it, and turns off all electronics visible to the outside world. Once he gets into the Indian Ocean, he might start depressurizing the cabin, meaning taking away all the oxygen. Um, what the passengers don't know is that their oxygen mask only lasts for about 15 minutes. Meanwhile, the captain has a more sophisticated mask that lasts longer. So once everyone is dead, he turns south and will soon end up in the southern Indian Ocean. Here's a map. The red shows the possible flight, the simulator the captain took, and the yellow shows the possible flight path. Conspiracy number two: a hijacked plane. MH370 uses electronics to do everything. All the electronics are in the electronics bay. You can switch the electronics on and off in there. The bay is under an unlocked hatch under corporate and Class A seating. Anyone can access it. Could someone have hacked or changed the Inmarsat data to make the plane look like it went south when it really went north? MH17 was another Malaysian plane that was shot down by Russia. Can MH370 have been hijacked by Russia? Somehow the Inmarsat communicator turned off and then back on. Was it tampered with? Conspiracy number two continued. 3 Russians were also aboard the plane. One of them was only sitting about 15 feet away from the electronics bay. The Russians at this moment were invading Crimea. This would be the perfect distraction from their invasion. This is how the hijack might have worked. One of the Russians makes a ruckus or a big scene. The flight attendants go to see what is going on. That is when the Russian closest to the electronics bay takes action. He goes in the electronics bay, plugs in his computer just outside of Malaysian airspace, and then he takes control of the plane. He turns left and will soon end up in the Indian Ocean. Once he enters the Indian Ocean, he starts depressurizing the cabin. Everyone is dead but him. He turns the plane north and messes up the Inmarsat data and goes until fuel runs out in Kazakhstan. Here's a picture of the 2 corridors. Conspiracy theory 3: the interception. When MH370 got lost, the U.S. were doing military exercises in the South China Sea. They were flying AWACS, a type of U.S. military plane. Inmarsat has something called Inmarsat Government that serves the biggest military powers worldwide. This includes the United States. Knowing how close Inmarsat and the U.S. are, theorists are questioning whether the U.S. changed the data for a cover-up, and the plane did go down in the South China Sea. The plane was also loaded with 2.5 tons of electronics without getting x-rayed or scanned. MH370, when flying over Malaysia, would fly over an Australian airbase called Butterworth. How could it and why would a rogue Boeing 777 fly over an airbase and not set off any alarms? That is only if it didn't. Conspiracy theory 3. One motive for bringing down this plane was the fact that China wanted extremely sensitive U.S. technology in the field of surveillance and stealth drones. Two AWACS were also flying near the location of MH370, and they had the ability to jam the communication system of the Boeing 777. This is how the interceptor might have taken place. The 2.5 tons of mysterious electronics are loaded onto the plane. The plane reaches cruising altitude, and everything is normal. Captain Zahari requests a change to Vietnamese airspace. MH370 is now between airspaces, and this is when the AWACS move into position and jam the communication system. It is possible that Captain Zahari received an order from the U.S. military to land somewhere nearby, but he says no to the order, causing tensions to rise. The U.S. must stop the cargo, so either with a missile or collision, MH370 goes down. Thank you. I hope you like my presentation on MH370.